Have you ever asked yourself why some people treat you this way? Why do they interrupt you as if your words have no value? Why don't they make room for you in social settings? They don't look at you as if you're not there. They remember everyone except you. Why do they mock your feelings, your pain, or your choices, or worse, take advantage of you? They drain you of everything you have and then disappear, as if you never even existed. Maybe you are that person who is always available to others, even when you're tired. You say okay to avoid conflict. You stay silent. You forgive too quickly, even if the other person hasn't offered a sincere apology. What's the result? Indifference, disrespect, silence. And the worst part is that deep down, you know you're not being respected, but you don't know how to break this vicious cycle. You keep accepting it. You keep trying to be kind and accommodating. You hope that one day people will realize how valuable you are, but that day never comes. Carl Jung has a beautiful quote: "The hardest task is to accept yourself completely." Perhaps the reason this story continues is precisely that, because self-respect requires courage, and that means you must go deep within and accept that you too have a role in this situation. As long as you disregard yourself, others will do the same. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about awakening. Maybe you learned from childhood that being a good person means being silent. That to be accepted, you must always compromise. That love equals surrender. These beliefs are still active in your life, shaping your decisions and relationships. You've internalized the idea that your worth depends on others' approval, and this has caused you to subconsciously see yourself as less. Until you consciously change this, even if you change your job, fame, or relationship, the same things will keep happening. You attract what you believe you deserve, not what you merely desire. So, instead of seeking respect from others, you must start building it within yourself. But the important question is, why are you still trying to prove your worth to others? For years, you've tried to be the perfect child, partner, or friend. You've tormented yourself. You've constantly aligned yourself with others' demands, and in the end, you only got temporary approval, not real respect. People who live to please others become, in the eyes of others, someone who is easily controlled. Jung says that if you too closely identify with the persona, the social mask, it causes you to become separated from your true self. The problem starts when getting approval becomes the measure of your identity. Then, a compliment makes your day, and a criticism crushes you. The more you try to prove your worth, the more you show that you doubt it yourself. Those who respect themselves don't beg for attention. They don't do good deeds to get love in return. They know themselves, and that is enough for them. The way is to reclaim the respect you've lost for yourself, instead of striving to get it from others. This starts with learning that saying no can be the most powerful form of self-love. But for someone stuck in the cycle of people-pleasing, this isn't simple at all. Perhaps you were conditioned from childhood to believe that disagreement is unkindness, or you thought that setting boundaries is selfish. That's why every time something bothered you, you said nothing. Every time your boundaries were crossed, you let it go. Even before the other person realized how much they hurt you, you had forgiven them. You think you're behaving in a very mature, balanced, and loving way, but the truth is you're gradually erasing yourself. Day by day, you lose a piece of yourself. The problem is that the world has no respect for someone who doesn't respect themselves. Respect cannot be begged for, pleaded for, or bargained for. You must earn it firmly and without negotiation. Setting these firm boundaries doesn't have to involve shouting and violence, but it must be resolute and clear. Everything starts with one word that might be hard for you to say. What is it? No. Saying no is the first real step to respecting yourself. It shows you and the world that you have boundaries. You don't give your energy away for free, your time matters to you, and your peace and well-being are valuable. But to get here, you must move past the guilt, because it will surely appear. When you say no to someone who has always taken advantage of you, guilt will visit you. It will try to make you doubt yourself and pull you back to where you always gave in. Carl Jung says the path to your true self begins with facing yourself. One of the first confrontations is with that version of you that learned to always say yes to survive. The version that thinks being agreeable is the only way to be accepted. But this kind of acceptance costs too much. The loss of your personal value, dignity, and identity. If you want to see respect, start saying no in the same places where you always said, okay. Decline tasks that aren't yours. Distance yourself from people who drain your energy. Let go of invitations you only accept out of politeness. And be aware that the first people to get upset will be the ones who were using you the most, because you're cutting off the hand they were using to exploit you. Understand that every time you say no to others, you are saying yes to yourself. This yes is the start of a great change, a return of your power, finding your voice again, and a new lifestyle where you no longer need permission to exist. But there's a deeper reason that prevents you from setting boundaries. It's in the hidden parts of your psyche that you've been running from for years. The same parts filled with emotions, traits, and desires you learned to suppress. Jung says the shadow includes everything you've buried due to fear of judgment or rejection. Maybe you learned from childhood that saying no is disrespectful or showing anger is bad. These beliefs have caused you to bury much of your power and assertiveness. But what you bury doesn't disappear. On the contrary, it grows stronger and prevents you from acting in crucial moments. Think about how many times you wanted to speak but remained silent. How many times you swallowed your pride to maintain a false peace. How many times you let someone cross your boundary and then felt diminished and used. The reason for this endurance is that you won't face those parts of yourself you learned to dislike. Parts like healthy anger, assertiveness, and the instinct for self-protection. Until you change this narrative, you will repeat this pattern in new situations. New friends, but the same feeling of disrespect. A new job, but the same feeling of being used. A new relationship, but the same pain of being unseen. Let me give you a simple example. When you did a big favor for someone and secretly hoped they'd be grateful, but only saw indifference, or worse, more expectations. Or when you were disrespected in front of others and told yourself, let it go. This silence isn't a sign of maturity. It's the same surrender hiding behind a mask of calm. Jung says, what you do not bring to consciousness controls you. Repressed anger becomes passivity. Buried assertiveness becomes fear. An ignored voice becomes anxiety. The way out is the courage to face your shadow and reclaim the suppressed parts. Not to become ruthless, but to become whole. Because before you ask for respect from others, you must reclaim your inner power. If these words resonate with you, it means it's time to take the next step. Respect must be built within yourself every day through conscious, consistent action. When you behave like a person of value, others will treat you accordingly. Here, we'll review 5 simple methods you should start today to reclaim the respect you've lost from yourself and others. Method 1. Make discomfort your compass. Whenever something bothers you, stop. Don't make excuses. Don't justify the other person's behavior. Ask yourself, if I truly valued myself right now, what would I do? Maybe the answer is to walk away from the argument, to set a boundary, to not reply to their message, or to decline their invitation. Act on that answer. That feeling of discomfort is your body's warning that you are betraying yourself again. Method 2. Stop over-explaining. You don't need to tell a story for every no. When you over-explain, you show you're not sure and feel guilty deep down. Respect starts with firmness. Say it briefly and clearly. I can't. Not today. I'm not comfortable with this. That's it. If someone demands more explanation, it means they're used to crossing your boundaries. Method 3. Put yourself first in your schedule. Look at your week. See where you made time for yourself. If there's nothing, it means you are disrespecting yourself. In your calendar, reserve specific time for activities that give energy to your mind, body, and spirit. This isn't self-indulgence. It's essential. Even if it's just 1 hour a day, it changes everything. Method 4. Replace quick reactions with a pause. When someone is disrespectful, you either want to explode or stay silent. Neither is good. Pause for a few moments. Breathe. Then say clearly, I don't accept this kind of talk. This isn't okay with me. You don't need to apologize for being upset. Just state your piece. Someone who defends themselves with respect teaches others how to treat them. Method 5. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Take a look at your environment. Do the people around you give you energy or drain you? Do they truly see you, or do they only appear when they need something? The respect you want starts with the environment you place yourself in. Quietly and without drama, create distance. If someone truly wants to be with you, they will understand. See, these actions aren't hard. The difficulty comes from the old patterns. Being agreeable to be accepted, compromising to be loved, and staying silent to maintain an artificial peace. Breaking these requires practice, assertiveness, and patience. But also remember this: the more you respect yourself in small things, the harder it becomes for you to tolerate disrespect in big things. Even when you start respecting yourself, there is one major obstacle: the fear of loneliness. This emotional dependency is the last chain that binds you and prevents you from living authentically. When you learn that you don't need anyone's gaze to understand your own worth, that's when you truly feel real respect. At some point, you must let go of blaming others. Stop waiting for people to change or to give you the respect you don't give yourself. The world isn't blind. It sees how you respect yourself and reflects that back to you. You want to be heard, but you muzzle yourself. You want to be valued, but you settle for less. You want to be a priority, but you put yourself last. And then you wonder why no one sees you? The bitter truth that must be said is because you hide yourself. Jung says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. These disrespectful behaviors, toxic relationships, and repeating cycles are not bad luck. They are a mirror of your relationship with yourself. Your outer world changes when you put your inner world in order. To gain respect, you don't need to become cold or unfeeling. You need to stop begging for love and stop conforming to places that kill your authenticity. More importantly, you must make peace with being alone, because only someone who is whole can be comfortable with themselves and choose who to be with. Anything else is just dependency masquerading as affection. From now on, whenever someone crosses your boundary, you have two choices: stay silent and continue the pattern, or stand up and change your story. You don't need to be aggressive, just honest with yourself. When you respect yourself, your energy, your state, and your gaze change, and the world sees it. Respect starts from within, and when it happens, you no longer need to request it. It comes on its own. If these words moved you or made you face a part of yourself you always run from, right here, right now, I choose to respect myself. This can be your first public promise to yourself. And if you want to continue this path, subscribe to the channel, because here you will see and hear things no one else will tell you. Remember, you're not just watching a video. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. So, I'll see you in the next video, my friend.